Okay. Let's get started. We're not going to go more than 20, 25 minutes. Let's start with 228, Maryland Core Program Revisions.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Senate Bill 228, you all should have a reprint on your desk. Looks like you do. Great. So this is a bill that makes modifications to a program that was first enacted a few years ago in law, but never really.
Hold on.
Does everybody have a list? No, I do not.
I do not.
I do not. I do.
We're only giving it out every other. You got to share with your partners.
Did anything change from yesterday?
The ones that have the list, your vote counts
No,
twice.
not what's on there,
You know,
but I suspect that the.
Okay, here we go.
okay.
We're doing 228, Senator Ferguson, Maryland Core Program Revisions.
Yep. Would you like me to walk through the amendments?
Briefly.
Briefly.
Very briefly.
Okay, so the First Amendment, it adds Senator Heddleman. And then there is, on page 9, just a clarification, there's like a just wonkiness in the wording, so that was changed. And then finally on page 15, basically just also rewording some things to not mention alleviating park staffing shortages, but instead to kind of broaden it to deal with conserving and restoring state and local parks and other climate and environmental projects.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. All those in favor of the amendments?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Why don't you tell me 10 seconds on what the bill does?
Okay, what the bill does, back in 2016, the program was established to kind of go off of the federal the volunteer corps program, but instead to create one in Maryland. It never really got off the ground with some funding issues. So this bill does also require a mandate for a certain number of years, phasing up to 2020, by 2027 to reach a $20 million funding mandate. And then it kind of takes what was this entity, elevates it to a quasi-state entity by creating a board, giving it the usual corporate powers and those sorts of things. Also establishing the membership of the board, a process for appointing them. So those sorts of nuts and bolts.
What's the 2024 number?
2024 number is $5 million.
All right. Everybody understand the bill? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. No, it's multi-year. It goes up to 20, it starts at 5 million, goes up to $20 million by 2027. What's that?
It's on the top of the list.
Everything, everything is on the list. Yeah. Look, I've got all kinds of lists, believe me. I've got lists of requests for operating. I got lists of requests for capital. I've got lists of what we've done already this year. I've got projections of what we've added to structural over the most recent years. You name it, we got it. That is correct. Senator?
I would just say in defense of the sponsor, his record in the long term and in the short run is, one, not afraid to make sure the budget balances and that the revenue is there. You may recall that he was the chief, he was number 2, because I guess the late Senator Miller was the chief sponsor of the bill dealing with the tech tax and other things. So I think this is one senator who understands bills have to be paid.
No question. So again, all those in favor of the bill as amended?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Let's go to 271. Not yet. 271.
Yep. All right, Senate Bill 271 deals with the issue of abandoned property. So right now, under law, if I am, say, a bank and I declare an account to be abandoned, there is a requirement in state law for me as the bank owner to report that to the comptroller's office so that then it's included on the statewide list of abandoned property. Current law has a provision that if I, as the pretend bank owner, fails to report it and to deliver that abandoned property, then there is a penalty of 15%. This bill strikes that penalty requirement, and the testimony indicates it's kind of current practice anyway.
The
So,
comptroller's request, right?
yes.
This bill, although, ignore the sponsor name, it's really the comptroller.
I was waiting for you to explain it all to us.
Move favorable.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There's songs, you can do that one.
One quick clarification, it doesn't get rid of it outright, it just gives them the ability to waive the penalty.
Beautiful, even better. Yikes. All right. Let's go with 409. We've got three retirement bills. Kim?
Senate Bill 409, this is a Joint Committee on Pensions bill. Last year, Joint Committee legislation created a kind of uniform streamlined process for line of duty death benefits related to COVID. That is due to sunset this June 30th. This bill extends it by 1 year. You should have amendments on your desk. When we drafted the bill, we omitted updating the dates and the substantive provisions of the bill, just extending that the period runs through, under the amendments, June 30, 2023.
Senator Jackson?
Yes, is this, when Philip and Senator Elfreth and I were joint chairs of the pension committees, I was on the House side, and I'd like to amend on if this is the time to do that, so,
Oh, yourself?
yes.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
So, does everyone understand the bill?
No, but I move favorable.
Second.
Anybody want to be on the bill?
Sure.
Sure.
Raise your hand if you want to be on the bill. Anybody not want to be on the bill? Okay,
Add all B&T.
add all B and T.
They're all here.
All those
so-
in favor of the amended bill?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. 410.
410, this is another Joint Committee on Pensions bill. Over the interim, the Joint Committee received a briefing by the Teachers Union about issues that school systems have been having with staffing. And so the bill from the Joint Committee, the concept was to add a temporary exemption to the reemployed retiree offset provision. The amendment before you would create a cap of 25 per school system for the next 2 years.
Yes.
Just briefly, thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Colleagues, our teachers came to us, we know there's going to be a wave of retirements in the near future, particularly in response to COVID. This is a program that already exists. Most counties have a 5-person cap. This would expand it to 25. It is in no way the solution, but we hope it is part of a solution. to ensure that teachers who are thinking about retirement but still want to stay somewhat in the classroom can do that without harming their retirement and their pension. So with that, I move favorable as amended.
So,
I just want to clarify, you said 5 or 25, are those
So-
percentages or numbers?
Currently, each school system we refer to them as wild cards. There's 5 retirees they can bring back without any offset in any position. This creates a similar program just for teaching. So it's classroom teacher, substitute classroom teacher, teacher
I'm
mentor.
asking about the
or
number.
principal.
Yeah, 25.
25
people or 25%?
people.
Doesn't that, does that make any sense between big and small counties?
That's current law. This is
I know, but that
25.
doesn't make any sense to me. What am I missing?
So the teachers are fine with 25 if the committee,
it was less than 25 last year,
yeah. This is-
statewide.
It's a
Okay,
pretty
all right.
underutilized
Okay,
program.
all right, okay, I got it.
The other thing with teachers too is the offset only applies if you go back to your same county. So basically, when you retire, you've got 23 options.
Time out, thank you, I got it now.
Okay.
we all good, Senator Corbin?
Question following up on his, the cap, why the, I mean, wouldn't we want it to be more expansive so more people could participate in it? Or no? Someone said no.
The subcommittee discussion, I think, was to put the cap on to kind of mitigate any potential,
Yeah.
I
This
guess
is,
what's the
fiscal note.
concern? If it's not capped, what's the concern? Not,
the fiscal note without a cap is relatively high, and the teachers came in asking for 25, and I think it's a reasonable
no, I was just
accommodation.
asking for clarification, that's all,
Yeah.
no issue with it.
I think everybody wins
the
in this.
fiscal note scores it based on assuming people are going to retire earlier than otherwise, but there's not necessarily a way to quantify that. The testimony was that they're already experiencing high retirements,
And Philip, this is for 2 years?
2 years.
2 years, so we're gonna kind of watch and see how this plays out.
Perfect. All's in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 502.
502 is another joint committee on pensions bill. This is a consolidated bill of all the clarifying and corrective requests from the board this past interim. There are 5 pieces. The first clarifies that for board trustees and trustee elections, the trustees and the members that are voting need to be active employees, not people who have left and are deferred members in their membership window after they leave employment. The second piece on page 3 it's a corrective provision about the drop program in state police. Years ago, the survivor benefit was altered, but the corresponding change was not made in the drop provision, so this is a technical correction, just clarifying, and nobody's been paid the incorrect benefit, so this is conforming the law to the existing practice. The third component is related to the correction system. Back in 2017, parole and probation employees were moved from the employee system to the core system. The employee system had a reemployment offset exemption for parole and probation employees, but that was not added in cores. So this is a provision to make it consistent for those parole and probation reemployed retirees. And then the last request from the joint committee, or I'm sorry, the fourth is related, it's a repealing an obsolete provision for judges for purchases of service. They haven't had anyone use this for 20 years. And there's probably not actually anyone eligible currently. And then the final request that came in from the joint committee had to do with an issue where they need authorization to process a retirement application that had a deficiency in the notarization form that was required for the application process. And then there is an amendment that the subcommittee included in concept, which you should have before you on your desks. This is also related to the moving people from the employee system to the core system. This will address an issue that's being experienced in a few limited circumstances where the individuals who are now members of cores don't have the minimum 5 years to be eligible for a disability retirement. And so this amendment transfers their employee system time into cores so that they be eligible to apply for that disability benefit, and the system is confirmed there should be no detriment in the benefit available to the affected individuals.
Mr.
Very
Chair.
good. Yes?
This is our annual corrective bill. It's a kitchen sink bill, and I'm very grateful we can put it all into one instead of 5 separate bills, and I move favorable as amended.
All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, excellent. So obviously Senator Elfreth gets those last three. 332. Ignore the name on the bill.
That's me. Okay. Senate Bill 332 deals with funding of St. Mary's College of Maryland. To start off, just a reminder that they are funded differently than other higher education institutions and that they're what we call a base plus, so what they got prior year plus an inflation amount. So given that a couple years ago, a provision was added that would require the state, where's my actual bill? So a couple of years ago, the state said, the bill changed so that the state would provide a cost of living adjustment of 50%. This bill changes that 50% up to 100%. So it basically be base plus whatever a COLA would be.
Everybody else gets the full cost of living at all the other institutions.
Yeah,
right?
it's all embedded within their budgets that they do.
What's the note on this?
It starts off in, well, 2023, if it's done then at $500,000, it rises up to $2 million by 2027.
Okay. Move favorable?
Second.
All those in favor? Senator King, you got it. All right, last one, 378.
Senate Bill 378 is it's called the Tri-County Council for Southern Maryland, funding for Southern Maryland Agricultural Development Commission. The bill requires the governor to include in the annual budget bill a $900,000 appropriation out of the cigarette restitution fund to the Tri-County Council to be used for the activities of the Southern Maryland Agricultural Development Commission. The funding was in the, this amount of funding was in the 2022 budget. It's in the 2023 budget. This is just going to force the governor to include it in budgets going forward at the $900,000 level. And it does require DBM to include a budget presentation as part of the budget books about how the money's being used.
Senator Alford?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The title says Tri-County, but SMATIC does cover 5 counties, including Anne Arundel and Prince George's, and if the sponsor would allow, I'd like to be added on as a co-sponsor.
Be honored. Third bill.
Okay, anybody want to be on the bill, other than Senator Alford?
Prince George's, yeah.
What? There's a couple. All right. All the Prince George's and Anne Arundel better get on the bill, quick. All right, very good.
Was that just Senator Griffith and Senator Elfreth?
And Rosapap. Okay. All those in favor as amended?
Aye.
Opposed? Excellent. Thank you all very much. We end the session now. Can you turn that off, please?